I'm Simon Waller, and welcome back to A Little Bit Forward, the show where we kind of just challenge some of the conventions in how we think about our work and the world around us. Often these things are mental shortcuts that we use or embedded beliefs that deserve to be challenged. And in a small way, I hope this show helps us in challenging them. Today, I want to talk about the concept of discounting, and specifically how we discount and see tomorrow relative to today. Now, the concept of discounting is an economic term, and I had the privilege of studying economics as part of my undergraduate and also in high school. And the premise of discounting is this idea that something in the future is worth less than the same thing now, that the same thing in the future has a net present value that is discounted because of a number of factors. The first of those factors can be one around risk, is that $100 a year from now, I may not get it, so therefore I can't treat it as being something that I actually have and own right now. We also have the concept of interest, and that if I put that $100 in and we put it in the bank, in a year's time, I'm going to have $104. And so that same $100 now is worth more to me than the $100 in a year's time. We also have inflation, and inflation says that over time things become worth less. And so obviously $100 in a year's time is worth less than it is now. And then finally, premises around opportunity cost, which is if I had the $100, I could do something with it. I could buy a car, get the utility of the car. Obviously not going to buy a car for $100, but the premise of it is sound. And I forego that utility if I don't get it for another year. And so for all of these reasons, we then tend to treat the things that happen tomorrow, whether it be the $100 we get, car that we own, or the holiday that we go on, or the promotion that we get, as being worth less in the future than it is in the present. But this has implications in terms of how we think and how we treat today. It means that we're much more likely to engage in kind of short-term thinking, believing that decisions today are more valuable than decisions tomorrow, and outcomes today. There's a productivity element of it. Of I must get so much done today because that's worth more than getting the same thing done tomorrow. I think this is also inflated by premises of individualism and the concept that we're all being brought up to believe that we're so very, very special. And therefore, the most important time in human history is right now because I just happen to be in it. And this is very contrary to what a lot of perhaps older cultures would believe. And when we start looking about indigenous cultures, often your time isn't treated as being the past, the present, the future. They all kind of exist as one. And the idea that you would be more important than your ancestors or the people that come after you would be quite ludicrous. And I do believe that there is some truth in that. There's no particular reason why tomorrow should be worth less than today, or a day or a moment a year from now is somehow insignificant relative to today. Like, in fact, you could argue if there's more human beings on the planet in 12 months' time, that moment in 12 months' time is going to impact more people, and that the year at the point a year from now is actually worth more than it is in the moment from a human experience perspective. Now, the idea of this show is really just to challenge some of our conceptions and the ways that we think about the world. And I want you to think about that for a moment. In a second, we're going to have 5 minutes of silence, and it's going to give you a bit of time and space to think about the implications of discounting tomorrow and how that impacts the work that we do. In that time, there'll be some little moments to give you some time checks. You, of course, can just fast forward through that bit. But I do believe that's actually the point of the show, is giving people time to challenge some of the ways that we think and imagine what the alternative might look like. And so the question for you is, where are you treating tomorrow as being less important than today? And is that really valid? And how might your thinking and your decision-making change if you were to treat tomorrow as important today or potentially as more important? All right, we'll see you back here soon. Thanks again for listening.